Sandy, California, Hot Chili Peppers. Played that because they lost a member of their band today or this week. So we will talk about their death in a little bit. This is Dylan Knows episode 364, self-owned, new haircut, new t-shirt I got from DC Fandom. No, actually I didn't. I got this from Loot Crate, but it's Wonder Woman 1984. So we're going to talk about DC Fandom. We'll talk about the trailers that they released. They released a new Wonder Woman 1984 trailer, the new Batman trailer, Suicide Squad, though it's not really a trailer, the Snyder Cut trailer, and also trailer to the new Batman video game that'll be coming out soon, which actually looks pretty good. So talk about some fandom stuff. Also talk about some Halloween stuff, some silly stuff. Drew Barrymore's in the news. Says there's some deaths. Fortnite has their new season planned out already. New food stuff. Let's see what else. Some trailers. Kit Kats all over the place today. Starbucks, got a bunch of Starbucks stuff. Flying saucers, flying squirrels, idiots, self-owning themselves, hence the name of the episode, and a few other things as well. So Tokyo's transparent bathrooms, which is kind of interesting. The Lost Colony is solved. I talked about that a while ago, but I think they've officially announced that it has been solved. Cats, Cheers, Bjork, all kinds of fun stuff going on. So we've got quite a bit to cover today. 1, 2, 3, 4 full pages. So let's get right on to it. As I said, episode 364. It is August 22nd. My son's 11th birthday will be on Tuesday. So that's what we'll look forward to. But guess what else is happening on Tuesday? Because it's 2020, and why not? Right now, all the models are pointing this out. There are 2 hurricanes that are going to hit the Gulf Coast simultaneously on Tuesday at 8 p.m. They're going to both make landfall. One is heading over towards Texas and hitting that area over there, but it is sharing the Gulf with this other one, so they're basically coming up at the same time. This one's a little further ahead of them, the one going to Texas. This one's going to hit New Orleans. It's going to go through Florida and then hit New Orleans sort of head on at that end, both at the same time at about 8 p.m. on Tuesday, my son's birthday. So Gulf Coast is going to be a hot spot. For the next few days. People evacuating, getting themselves prepped. I don't think they're going to be like massive storms, but still to have 2 simultaneously hit at the same time is something that I think has only been done 2 other times, I think. And even then, not a lot of information is about them because it was a long time ago. So, of course, it's 2020, so why not? So we got that going on. Here's another thing that because it's 2020, why not? I can't find it right here, but I will. When I do, I will find it. Basically, an asteroid, NASA says an asteroid will be coming very, very close to the to Earth the day before the U.S. election. That'd be November 2nd. So November 2nd, a giant asteroid will be coming very close to the Earth. So hey, why not? Everything else is going crazy, so why not? NASA predicts massive asteroid to pass close to Earth on day before the election. Okay, I did have that one right next to the hurricane. So 2020, man, 2020. Also 2020. Jelly Belly sparkling water. Jelly Bellies are those jelly beans you can get, pretty popular ones out there. You can get nowadays, but now they have sparkling water, so you can get it in jelly bean flavors. And I wonder if they taste like jelly beans, jelly bean water, I guess. I don't know, but that'll be interesting as well. Undercover cops posing as drug buyers are arrested by undercover cops pretending to be drug sellers. Again, only 2020 would this happen. Kind of a interesting story, but when you're undercover, you're deep undercover. You don't know what the other people is doing. Also, because of 2020, Dunkaroos. That's right. An ale with cookies, vanilla cream, sprinkles is a thing, and they're called Dunkaroos. You know, the Dunkaroos cookie. Well, there is a Dunkaroo out there. Ales, as I said, ales with cookies, vanilla cream, ales, as I said, ales with cookies, vanilla cream, sprinkles, rather. It is a thing. Some good news about 2020. Washington Zoo was surprised earlier this week that their giant panda, you can watch that all going on if you go to, I guess, the panda. They have a camera on them, I guess, and you can watch the mama panda caring for the new baby panda. It's always good when animals that are endangered or whatever have animals. There's another animal story in here that a zoo, it's not the National Zoo, but a zoo holds a baby shower for a pregnant gorilla. So you have the panda at the Washington Zoo had a baby panda, and now there's going to be a gorilla that's going to have a baby gorilla, and the zoo decided to throw a baby shower for the gorilla. So why not? It's a really cute idea. And I think it's a good thing. Halloween's coming up, so zombie Skittles are coming back. That's the one where it's regular Skittles, but there is one in there that tastes like death, literally. So I did not have them last year, and I probably will not have them this year because I really don't want to eat anything that tastes like death. Sorry, that's not the way I do things. Dippin' Dots is making cookie and cream balls, so you can go ahead and eat them. You know, Dippin' Dots are those weird little ice cream ball things, but now they're going to actually do like cookie things, which is pretty interesting as well. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is releasing Cinna Dust, which you can sprinkle on everything. Basically, it's just like cinnamon sugar that you can put on toast and French toast and all kinds of stuff. So Cinna Toast, their Cinna Dust is a new thing. 640-foot landslide on the Martian surface. So Mars is like every other planet. It's got giant mountains and hills. Well, they looked out and they caught a landslide occurring, and it was a big one. So that's a pretty interesting thing to be able to see something like that as well. A couple weeks ago, I told you that Marvel has bought the rights to the Aliens and Predator to produce Aliens and Predator comics. They got them from Dark Horse in a really good way of sharing stuff. Dark Horse has allowed Marvel to release an omnibus of their early Alien stuff from the 1980s. Actually, it was when they first came out. Chris Warner, I remember, and Mark Verheiden were the ones that did the first Aliens comic, and it was like no one had ever seen anything like it before. It was just blew everybody's mind away, and that's going to be released in this omnibus as well as other stuff too. And then they got the Predator one, and Mark Verheiden and Chris Warner did that one. They did a really good job with that too. And then they crossed over Aliens vs. Predator, where they got Chris Claremont to write that one, I think, and Jackson Geist to do the artwork, which looked really nice. So we'll probably get a bunch of this all together, and I'm sure they'll do a Predator one as well. Dark Horse has done a surprising amount of those, so that's pretty good. I think I talked about this earlier, but I'm going to bring it up again. Birthday cake waffles are now a thing. Birthday cake seems to be the flavor du jour lately. So there actually is a birthday cake flavored waffle out there now for you. So go for it. Comedy Central is going absolute crazy. They are changing up their brand. They've bought remakes to Beavis and Butthead and Ren and Stimpy. And in place of those, they're getting rid of Drunken History and Tosh.0. So those two shows have been canceled on Comedy Central. I think they just signed up Tosh.0 for 4 years. They said, not so fast. We're not going to do that. So Tosh.0 is now gone, as is Drunken History, which is funny because a few weeks before they announced this, Drunk History won Emmys, I think, or Emmy nominations at least. And they were all like, yeah, Drunken History, yeah, winning Emmys. Well, guess what? I guess that's why you decided to get rid of it. Right? Morons. you can get a rare, creepy-looking succulent, which is those type of miniature plants you can take care of, that looks like a brain just in time for Halloween. And then somebody had a skull flower pot succulent plant for it. You put the plant in, it really looks like a brain. It's kind of interesting looking. So for your Halloween pleasure. The Kentucky Derby, which usually runs the beginning of May, is now going to be running at the beginning of September, and they will have no fans in the stands. I guess you can still bet on the race if you go. Which usually runs the beginning of May, is now going to be running at the beginning of September, and they will have no fans in the stands. I guess you can still bet on the race if you go to a off-site betting somewhere, but you will not be doing the mint juleps and all that usual stuff as well, and the whole hats and crazy stuff. And they're doing it the weekend of Labor Day, and then I think the Preakness is going to be a couple weeks after that. Again, probably no fans there as well, which is interesting because NFL is shooting up really quickly. The first game of the year is September 11th, so. Yeah, because the 12th is Friday. Yep. So interesting. Let's see. Movies. AMC opened up this weekend in 100 locations with the movie Unhinged, which is Russell Crowe's movie. It was the first one to be seen there, but as I said, only about 100 showed up. And it's Thursday night. Unhinged is Thursday night. Take us. They open on Thursday. Unhinged is opening night, or it might have been opening nights. Yeah, it was opening. It was Friday night, so it opened on Friday. AMC opened their doors on Friday in 100 locations, and Unhinged was the first new film to be released since like Sonic the Hedgehog in February, in movie theaters. And it made $2.4 million or something like that, which is impressive at 100 screens or 100 theaters with people still afraid of COVID. So who knows what's coming up next weekend, next Friday. We're going to start getting more into the juice of it. We're supposed to get New Mutants and Bill and Ted Face the Music are supposed to be out in theaters on the 28th, as well as video on demand as well. And then Tenet shows up on September 3rd. So they're going to start spiraling to that. So they're going to keep an eye on it. I would guarantee you probably you're going to see numbers like you saw for Unhinged, 2.4, 2.5 million, probably a weekend gross of about 5 million maybe for the weekend, which considering what's going on is not bad, but it's still going to be looked upon as being bad because the budget might have been like $40 million, so it's not making its money back. But regardless, it's a good sign, and we'll see what happens, and then we'll see. Haven't heard any numbers from that as well, so we'll see about that. So, but yeah, so start rolling through again now. In movie theaters, as I said, Bill and Ted New Mutants are next week, Tennis a week after. So we'll keep up with that. That being said, they are still releasing trailers for movies. And one of those is Death on the Nile, based on the Agatha Christie story, featuring Poirot, which is one of her favorite characters. They did one, Murder on the Orient Express, I think, a couple years ago, which did pretty good. So this is kind of a sequel, but it's going to star Kenneth Branagh as Poirot, and it's got Gal Gadot in the movie, and there's probably a bunch of other people I can't think of right now off the top of my head. But saw the trailer for that. Yeah, that's what you expect. It was kind of, it was okay. Drew Barrymore says her grandfather, the famous actor John Barrymore, has been a bunch of stuff. She says that her grandfather's corpse was stolen by his famous friends for one last night of poker and drinking. And she says that she wants the same to happen to her when she passes away. She wants her friends to take her dead body out and about and do some, I guess, dancing and drinking, stuff like that. 40s were a weird time, man. Netflix rom-com. I don't know if it's. I think it's a movie called Love Guaranteed with Rachel Lee Cook and Damon Wayans Jr. Got it on Netflix as well. It might be a TV show, I don't know, but it's somebody with like a lawyer who has been hired by a guy that claims that dating sites are not good and wants to sue them or something like that because it's not working for him or something like that. I think that's the premise of it, so we'll see about that. Man finds 20-year-old Pokemon card deck hidden beneath a Target shelf, which 20 years ago was right around the time when Pokemon started. So this has got to be pretty valuable Pokemon cards he's got in there. So congratulations to that guy for getting lucky about that. And there's one other one I wanted to do. Let's see if I can find. I can't see it right now, but I will reach it again. I'll think about it again soon. But there's another kind of interesting geek sort of story that came out this week as well. And that's it. All right. So where should we go next? Let's see. What do we got? We've got politics. We got death. We've got food. All right. Let's do some food. There's a place in Brooklyn called Sassy's Specialty Sandwiches, and someone took a picture of one of her newest specialty sandwiches called the Mac and Chicken Sandwich. It's a crispy chicken cutlet topped with melted cheddar cheese, cheddar mac and cheese, crispy bacon, and specialty chipotle aioli, which is like a mayo type of thing. It actually sounds pretty good, and it looks interesting, and probably give you a heart attack, but it still looks kind of good. So, hey, go for it. Fortnite, still involved in its massive lawsuit with Apple and Google. And Apple and Google have now countersued them. So that stuff ain't going to get taken care of anytime soon, which sucks for me because I'm on mobile. And the new season starts on Thursday, the 27th. And it will not be on my phone. So I think this week I'm going to have to charge up my Nintendo Switch. And there is a way that you can transfer or connect your Fortnite account from your cell phone to the Switch. But I'm worried about making sure I get it right. So I will be working on that this week before Thursday, obviously, when the new season starts. And we'll see what happens, and hopefully things work out. But unlike the previous two seasons, new seasons that I've been involved with since my son's been involved with it, this season is not, as far as we know, as far as August 22nd, is not going to be delayed. It is still scheduled for August 27th, which I said is on 5 days, next Thursday, or upcoming Thursday, I should say. And it's going to be a Marvel-themed one. Fortnite announced that today or yesterday, that it is going to be a Marvel-themed season. They have added, I talked about this on my show a couple weeks ago, they've added comic books to the Battle Pass section, so you can read comic books now. They posted the new Donny Cates Thor comic, which has Thor becoming a Herald of Galactus. And the rumors are that Thor will be the main part of the Battle Pass, and you'll get a Thor skin of the new Thor, and he's going to be the main Battle Pass character you're going to be wanting to get. And in the comic that's now in the Battle Pass section, they talk about there's a rift that Thor in his inner monologue says, I'm going to go through there and take Galactus through it. We're going to find new worlds to ease his hunger. A rift, very similar looking to the one in the comics, has opened up in the air over Catty Corner in Fortnite Island. So everyone's believing that Thor is going to come through there, and that it's possible that Galactus will be the one that's going to come in. And if they have a big final event, like they usually do, like a season finale event, it might be Galactus coming to destroy the island or eat it or whatever, and someone's going to be trapped in this land, and the island will be redone again. We don't know if that's true. Again, these are just rumors. We're not going to know until Thursday, and you'll find out this week's episode of Dylan Knows what's going on with that. I'll tell you all about that as well. And then the other interesting thing about that they've announced is that there will be Wolverine skin, a Groot skin, and a Storm skin. So those are good as well. So we'll see what happens. A lot of people are not happy with the fact that Fortnite is kowtowing to Marvel. I mean, it's been fun. They've had the Deadpool and Cable and Domino and Psylocke, Captain America skins, and then DC's gotten into it with the Batman skins, Catwoman. Who else is in there? Batman, Catwoman, There's someone else I'm missing in there. I can't think of who it is right now. And then in November, they're going to have the Joker, Poison Ivy. Oh, Harley's the other one that's out there now. But Joker, Poison Ivy, and one other one are also going to be coming to Fortnite in November. So they are going to really go all in on these comic books things. So, I mean, I'm great because I'm a comic book fan, but we'll see how that goes. But the fans itself are not very happy with that. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of comics, may as well take care of this. The DC Fandom is going on today and maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. But today is the big day. It's the 22nd. This is the one that the Fandom is their version of all the information they were going to probably give at San Diego, but they're going to be doing it here. First up was the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer, the new one. There is no date in the trailer about when the movies come out. Those supposed to come out in November or October. It's October, actually. Black Widow's November. It's supposed to be out in October. We'll see if it's still going to be out at that time. But the new trailer is out, and it's fantastic. We get to see the first actual look at Cheetah, who is going to be the main bad guy, and she looks fantastic. You also get a look at Maxwell Lord, played by Pascal something or other, who played the Mandalorian. He looks pretty interesting, and the story itself is cool, and you get some more looks at Steve coming back. I forget his last name right now. But the main love interest, played by Chris Pine, is back. There's a funny bit about 1980s fashion and stuff like that. So it looks good. I have to go check out on YouTube or any of your geeky websites the Wonder Woman 1984 Fandom trailer. It's really good. Also released, the second trailer that came out was for the new Batman video game called Gotham Knights. Except there's a twist. There's no Batman in it because Bruce Wayne is killed in an explosion that destroys the Batcave and and Wayne Manor and all that stuff. And Bruce, when he dies, when his heart stops beating or whatever, it sets off a message that he had encoded in the system that in the case of his death, it goes to his closest associates. So Red Hood, Batgirl, Robin, and Nightwing all get the same message saying that it's up to them to take over and take care of the city. And so you're going to be able to play as one of those 4 players. And you've got, you get to see how some of the action is going to be done. You get to see all the characters in action and how they're going to look. And Mr. Freeze makes an appearance. But the big twist at the end is that the Court of Owls, which was something introduced in Scott Snyder's original 12 issues of Batman, the New 52, which actually was the best Snyder did, and then he just went downhill with his Joker arcs and just went crazy with Joker and Year Zero stuff, which I thought were absolutely dumb, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, but the Court of Owls is a fantastic idea, original, really cool. The Court of Owls make an appearance, and this one as being probably the main big bads in this new Gotham Knights video game. So we got that. We also got a list of the Suicide Squad cast and who they will be playing. And let's just say it is going to be a absolutely insane movie. I mean, James Gunn is directing it, so of course it's going to be. Let's see if I can get the picture of the that has all the names on it, so we can get all the characters. The trailer that they released is really more of a behind-the-scenes sort of thing, detailing how they made the film, and you see some footage and some behind-the-scenes stuff, and CGI still being worked on, and everyone else working on it. But Idris Elba will be playing Bloodsport, who was a Superman character. Margot Robbie is back as Harley Quinn. Pete Davidson is playing Blackguard, who I don't think I've ever heard of before. John Cena is going to be playing Peacemaker, which is a fantastic casting. Nathan Fillion will be playing Tak. I've never heard of him before. But that's interesting. Michael Rooker will be playing Savant, which is a really interesting. He's a Talon, the Court of Owls who can't speak. Oh wait, no, that's not Savant. Savant is someone else. I'm sorry, who was from Birds of Prey. I'm sorry. Peter Capaldi is the Thinker. Mei Ling Ing is Mongol. Juan Diego Botto is Luna. Never heard of those two. Flula Borg is Javelin. Jai Courtney returns as Captain Boomerang. Daniela Melchior plays Ratcatcher 2. Ratcatcher's interesting. Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller. Sean Gunn is playing Weasel. David Dastmalchian is playing Polka Dot Man. Alice Braga will be playing Solsoria. Joel Kinnaman is playing Colonel Rick Flag again. And King Shark will be there. He's going to be completely CGI. So those are your characters. It looks great. The trailer, as I said, is sort of behind the scenes stuff and stuff like that. But it was just it looked really interesting. It was just more behind the scenes stuff, and it's kind of neat to see some of the stuff and some of the characters in action. You can see some of their costumes. You get really good looks at John Cena's Peacemaker. They got a really good costume for him, so I think that's a great idea. So good on that for Suicide Squad. Batman, I should say, his trailer was released at 8:30 tonight, so it's still fairly new. Probably all over Facebook right now, but again, just go to YouTube, type in the Batman fandom trailer. That one I'm not as excited for. It just looks sort of meh to me right now. The guy with the tape, I think, is supposed to be Riddler, but doesn't look like Riddler at all, but it's supposed to be the Riddler. Pattinson's Bruce Wayne is sort of an emo Bruce Wayne, but he's got a good Batman voice instead of Christian Bale's. He's actually got a pretty good Batman voice. I like that. You can see him in full costume. You can see him beating up somebody real good. You can see the Batmobile in action. You can see him using his grappling hooks. But it's really dark. You get to see Commissioner Gordon. You get to see him. You get to see Catwoman as well. And you just hear Alfred's voice, so you don't get to see him physically. But right now, I'm not that excited about it. Milestone. So we'll see about that. And it's just the first trailer. But as I said, Pattinson's voice is good for Batman. It's just Bruce Wayne is just a little too emo for me, so we'll see what happens. Now comes the big event of the night, is the trailer for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I've been a strident critic of the Snyder Cut. I think it is a stupid waste of time. Just about a whiny guy who got a bunch of toxic people to bully a company to create something that was not actually in existence. And was just started as sort of a little bit of a joke. I'm conflicted on it because the trailer actually looks pretty good, a little bit more action-packed, but it's still a little too dark for my tastes, but it looks a little bit better and might have a little bit more interesting story than the original Justice League did. However, because Zack Snyder just had to Zack Snyder, there was a critic who saw an early cut of the trailer and said that it looked just like the regular Justice League movie that came out a few years ago. And the guy who wrote this was not a fan of that either. And Snyder leaps on him and says, this is an adult Superman story, and it's not for you because you said the other Justice League was like a Saturday morning cartoon or whatever. You're missing the point completely with Zack Snyder, which is why Man of Steel was such a load of crap, and so was Batman vs. Superman, because Superman is not adult. Superman is for everybody. He's not a dark, broody character like Batman. He is a bright, shining hope for the future, and you turned him into a complete and utter asshole. And basically affecting you. And so just you and your toxic followers just made me really, really just turn off on this. If you weren't such an asshole about things, and neither were your fans, maybe this might be something that I might be interested in seeing. But right now, despite the fact that it looks good, I really honestly, I don't want to watch it because I don't want to give credence to this character because his Flash character is terrible, is not the right thing. Ben Affleck is awful as Batman. Aquaman is too dude bro-ish for my tastes. Wonder Woman is the only good shining star, and Superman is just too much of a dark and brooding type, and that's just the way it is. Dark Side doesn't really, it looks okay, but doesn't really give me the Thanos sort of, oh, look at that. No, it's just, oh, okay, that's Dark Side. Yeah, great. It will be released in a 4-hour format. Apparently, there is a lot of other stuff that he's done. He's added, so maybe there was more to the story than that. But he says that HBO Max will be releasing a 4-hour cut in 1-hour increments. So basically, like a four-night miniseries for TV. But as I said, the trailer looks good, but just Zack Snyder's attitude and the attitude of the toxic Zack Snyder fans, Snyder Cut fans, has turned me off completely from even being interested in that. And then to keep up the whole thing, they have some Flash news, which everyone's excited about it. And it's like, no, I'm really not. Everyone was excited about the news that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman in the Flash movie. It's like, okay, it's awesome because Michael Keaton was awesome as Batman. But now they're like, Ben Affleck's coming back as Batman. Aren't you excited? It's like, no, I'm really not. Because now you just basically turn the Flash movie into a Batman movie because you're going to have 2 Batmans and 1 Flash. And then people are like, well, there's going to be some other there's going to be some other superheroes in there as well. It's a Flash movie. Shouldn't you focus more on Flash? Or do you know that he's such trash that you have to put other characters in it so that it does not reflect well on him? So again, that looks like utter trash and garbage. And the fact that Ben Affleck's coming back again and having Michael Keaton on there is just sort of just make it a fucking Batman movie then, if that's what you're going to be doing. Fucking morons. I don't know what they're doing. The Rock came out and I swear he's been talking about this movie for like 10 years. But Black Adam is supposedly finally going to start getting filmed this year or next year for a new release. It's supposed to have the entire JSA in it, which is a good idea to have him get involved with the JSA. You still need to have Shazam in there in some form or another, or even put Superman in there. But we'll see. So we have that as well. And then the other interesting thing that, and I just saw Peter David said this also, is like, yeah, he was scrolling his social media and he's just seeing all this media about Batman and, DC movies and DC TV shows and DC video games. But what about the comics? This whole thing is supposed to be about comics, right? DC still does comics, right? Or are they just focusing more on the movies and stuff now? No, they're supposedly doing more comics, but this is not, I guess, fandom. They wanted to be more of a, hey, look at us, we're trying to catch up with Marvel and we are, doing what we can to do that. But the one comic related news that they did release this week or today, which is good news, is the Milestone imprint is going to be coming back in spring of 2021. Milestone was an imprint that came out in the 90s, and it focused mostly on Black writers and artists with Black superhero characters. Brand new one, Static Shock, is the big one that was created from that became sort of the main character in the Milestone saga, and the other Milestone characters eventually got canceled, and Static Shock was able to stick around for a while and was even part of the New 52 release, but he didn't last too long as well. But Milestone is coming back. You're going to get new African-American artists and writers. Let's get some African-American women in there as well to get some of these characters, and let's spread some diversity. I think that's a really good idea. So we'll see how that goes. So there's your fandom news. I don't know if there's anything coming out tomorrow. If there is, it'll be in next week's episode of Dylan Knows. Before we get to political stuff, let's do some deaths. I played Danny California to begin the episode 34 minutes ago from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because the Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist Jack Sherman passed away at the age of 64 today. Also in the music world, Quiet Riot drummer Frankie Bannon died this week as well. Gold Rush star Jesse Goins died at the age of 60. Where's my other death here? This page, I think. Yeah, and Ben Cross, Chariots of Fire actor, played Spock's dad in Sarek in the new updated Star Trek series with Chris Pine. He was in that movie, and he also, one I remember him most from is when they tried to redo Dark Shadows, the vampire soap opera. They tried to do it as a primetime soap opera, and Ben Cross played Barnabas Collins. That's where I remember Ben Cross from particularly, but then also Sarek is the other one as well. So those are your deaths this week from that. Let's do a little bit of, I guess, some political stuff. This week, that asshole in the White House thought that he was reaching out to women voters by pardoning Susan B. Anthony posthumously. Susan B. Anthony was a woman who voted an election before women were allowed to vote as a protest about how allowing women to vote. So she was arrested and thrown in jail because of that. And that asshole thought that if he pardoned her, that more women would say, "Oh, he pardoned a woman, I want to do that." But he backfired on that because the history of Susan B. Anthony is that Susan B. Anthony would not have wanted to be pardoned. She did it to make a statement about women's suffrage, and that's where she got. That's where she did think the Susan B. Anthony Museum was ripping it for doing that as well, and they know about her stuff. So he tried and failed, swung and missed on that one. That asshole is also trying to shut down the post office because he knows that if people are allowed to vote, that he will lose. And as soon as he loses, he's out of office, he'll be arrested and thrown in jail because he's one of the biggest criminal, corrupted assholes in the whole world. So he's been trying to mess with the mail service. And because of that, shipped live chicks that have been shipped from other places to farmers have been dying at the mail place because of the slowdown in mail shipments. So a lot of these chicks that the farmers desperately need and can only get them through mail have been dying in the mail because of the slowdown that asshole created. That asshole's best buddy, Putin, continues to show what a dictator is supposed to do. He had a dissident who was trying to run against him for premier. That dissident was found poisoned. So yay. So that's what the third one. The one was poisoned. One was thrown. No, two. One was poisoned with a kind of regular. This guy was poisoned with a regular poison. One was thrown from a 4-story window, and another one had nuclear waste put on him or something like that. So yeah, that's there's nothing suspicious about any of that. Fucking dictator asshole. This episode is called Self-Own because the maggots are complete and utter morons, that they self-own themselves. They buy these expensive stuff, and then that asshole's like, "Oh, you should boycott that," and they burn them. Burn books after they bought them, saying, "Yeah, I showed you." It's like, "No, actually, you didn't. You just wasted the money that you used to pay for that." In this case, that asshole went on a rant about how Goodyear tires are terrible because Goodyear plans to not allow people to wear MAGA hats at work. But guess what? They don't allow Biden hats either. It is a non-political place. It is an American-made company that's been around since the 1800s. And now you're telling people to boycott it. So guess what? You're taking money away from Americans. You keep saying that you need to buy American. Well, now people aren't going to be able to buy American because they're boycotting the Goodyear tires. But of course, it only took a few minutes for the stupid maggot morons who don't know a damn thing and they're uneducated, stupid-ass motherfuckers. This one maggot videotaped himself slashing the Goodyear tires on his truck. Tires are already on his truck, and he slashed them while they were still on his truck. So now he can't use his car until he gets new tires. And 4 tires is going to be pretty damn expensive. Fucking morons. And you always claim you want to buy American. You bought American, and now you don't like American because that asshole told you that they're un-American. You're a stupid motherfucker, aren't you? I think I got another cell phone in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, where is that one? This is the best one of the night. Shit, where is it? It's the best one of the night. I love this one. Oh, here we go. An asshole supporter, one of the maggots, was trying to trigger liberals by aiming his gun that he owns at his crotch, as if I'm owning the liberals by pointing a gun at my crotch. Yes, he shot himself in the balls, trying to own the liberals who could have given a rat's ass about some random dude who was pointing a gun at his dick and shot his balls off. Self-own, baby. Self-own. Fucking moron assholes. I feel like there's another one. This isn't really a self-own, but an anti-mask asshole exposes himself to a Marshall's employee who asked him to cover his face with a mask. So basically, she asked him, you need to cover your face or you got to leave. And the dude, being an asshole, drops his pants and brings his dick around at her. Fucking sexual predator motherfucker. God, I hate people like that. I'm sure there's another one in here. I just can't find it right now. So I'll get to them a little bit later. The Pentagon is establishing a new task force to investigate UFOs, and it doesn't shock anybody anymore that is actually going to be happening. So, okay. Is there any other? I think that's it for politics for a little bit. I'm just going to keep going down this list till I find. We'll just go from the beginning and we'll work our way around. All right. This is a personal note. I went to a place called Albright College for 4 years to get my BA in history. My last 3 years, I stayed at a dorm called Mohn Hall, M-O-H-N, Mohn Hall. I had my sophomore year was my first year there. I was supposed to room with someone, but he dropped out, and they didn't have enough time to get me a roommate, so I had my own room for the fall semester. I talked about this a while back. It was nice because I had a young lady over a number of times, and it was quite fun, as you can imagine. And then my guys who became my best friends at college, they lived above me, and that's how we got to become friends. So they lived above me my sophomore year. Junior year, we decided that we all wanted to take over a side of Mohn Hall. So we were able to lock up 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms on one side of the dorm, all right next to each other. So we basically owned that room, that whole section, for a year. That was fantastic. I had a roommate that year, but his girlfriend was a freshman and he was a junior. And so he was at his girlfriend's room more often than he was in our room. So that was kind of good also. Didn't have any young ladies over then, unfortunately. And then my senior year, I got one of the single closets, which are literally, it's a singles room, which was about the size of a closet, but it's enough room to fit a bed, a desk, my TV, a mini fridge, a dresser for my clothes. I had a closet to hang stuff up in. And I had something else. And a place I could put my video games and my CDs and stuff like that. And I was able to have a place for my CD player also. That was a fun room for half a year when I had a girlfriend, and we had lots of fun in that room. But it was great fun being a single because I didn't have to deal with roommates. I could do my own stuff, go to bed when I wanted to, stay up if I wanted to, watch whatever I wanted to. I had a DVD player. There was a DVD shop that had just opened in the shopping center across all. I went every week and got new DVDs and watched them. Had a computer. It was great. So it was great. So my friend Karen, who was a sophomore when I was a senior, so I knew her for about 2 years. She posted a video during the summer. Albright remodeled all the dorm rooms in Mohn Hall and has updated them and turned them all into singles, and has made it be an astounding renovation that makes it absolutely stunning and gorgeous. And every single room is now a single, and it's just as gorgeous on the inside because they have so many dorm rooms now with the building of some new dorms that they've had around there. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm very jealous because I've seen these pictures like, damn, I wish I had a room like that when I was in college. But hey, it was different times, early 90s and not the mid 2000s. So, oh well. Que sera, sera. The Farmer's Almanac, which you really cannot believe too much about because they've been calling for all kinds of like crazy cold, is calling for this year's winter forecast in the eastern seaboard to be sheets of sleet and be much warmer than a usual winter. Now, that to me seems like shit. We're going to get brutal cold and lots of snow because they seem to say the complete opposite of what we actually get. But in this case, sheets of sleet does not sound really good because ice is worse to drive in than snow is. So, yeah, not good at all. So to be continued, we will find out more. We still got to get through fall, which, by the way, it is August 22nd. Next week will be August 29th. The week after that will be, let's see, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the 5th. Excuse me. Be the 5th of September, but September 1st is technically meteorological fall. So that's coming up on September 1st. First day of fall is in mid-September. Fall is my absolute favorite season. For those who've watched the show for the last 6-7 years, you know that. So I'm ecstatic out of my mind. It's been actually a pretty nice summer so far. Not too brutally hot, so we'll see what happens. So we still got to get through a nice, gorgeous fall, hopefully, and then we'll see what winter brings us. See if the Farmer's Almanac is right or wrong. I am going to err on the side of they're probably going to be wrong. Speaking of ice, the Greenland ice sheet has lost a record 530 billion metric tons just last year. For those who say climate change is a myth, fuck you. Bjork, the singer, who also made a memorable appearance in a movie a few years ago, is coming back to films. She has been cast in a Viking film called The Northman. Considering she's Icelandic, I guess that sort of makes sense that she's going to be in that, so good on that. Disney Plus is going to be adding an adults-only section, meaning they'll be putting their Fox and Touchstone films that aren't really family-friendly, the PG-13s and the Rs in that section. So that's good for get a little bit more, content for people. Kraven the Hunter, who is one of Spider-Man's sort of shades of gray supervillains and is fantastic. Has a fantastic storyline called, I think, The Death of Kraven the Hunter, or something like that. Kraven's Last Hunt, that's what it's called, by James DeMatteis, Mike Zeck, and Tom Beatty. Was a fantastic story. Kraven will be getting his own movie through Sony because they own the rights to the Spider-Man characters. So they're going to be doing a Kraven movie. That could be pretty good if you find a good person. Jason Momoa actually might be pretty good as Kraven. So we'll see if that's a fact. And Olivia Wilde, hot, has signed on to direct a Sony film about a female superhero. And she intimated herself that it's probably going to be Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew will be coming to movie theaters more than likely, and Olivia Wilde will probably be playing her, which is actually kind of brilliant casting. So we'll see. Here it is. We talked about the guy who found the Pokemon deck. We talked about the guy who found the Pokemon deck. Well, a woman braves a flood to rescue her husband's action figure collection in China. So basically, I guess the collection was in the house, whatever, and a flood was coming, but she risked her life to save her husband's priceless, I should say, action figure collection, and that's a really good idea. Lay's continues to do all kinds of different flavors. They are now releasing flavors that are inspired by countries. They're going to be doing a Greece-inspired Lay's chip, a Mexico-inspired Lay's chip, a Germany-inspired Lay's chip, and a Thailand-inspired Lay's chip as well. I don't know if that's going to be the name of the chips or if they're going to name it for, like, the Greek is sort of, you've got sort of the kind of a Caesar-y sort of olive sort of flavor stuff, and then Mexican sort of like like taco burrito stuff. Germany probably more like bratwurst and sauerkraut and stuff like that, and Thailand will be very, very spicy. So we'll see if that's in fact going to be what happens. Walmart will be releasing a line of fall baking kits for the season, Halloween, leaf store stuff. So that's going to be, as I said, you're going to start seeing more and more Halloween stuff. I went to Weis today, my local grocery store. Their Halloween section has grown. I was in Target the other day, but I didn't really check that out because I was busy trying to find stuff for my son's birthday. I didn't really check out the Halloween stuff. I think they still have the school supplies up in there, and they're going to wait till after Labor Day. And as soon as Labor Day is over, boom, it's going to go Halloween. So we'll see what happens. Starbucks makes its first appearance today with the new Kiwi Star Fruit Refresher. Despite what I've been saying, summer is still hanging around, and you can go get that refresher right now if you want. Southern Shock Mountain Dew with tropical flavors is a thing also. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm going to be seeing it anytime soon, but it is there. Buttered popcorn seems to be another good new flavor also. There's a buttered popcorn M&M flavor. Now there's a buttered popcorn Frappuccino also from Starbucks. I know I just mentioned the other stuff, but there's something else there. Snickers peanut brownie is coming. So you're going to get a Snickers candy bar that's going to have brownie, peanuts, and caramel, I guess, in it. So that should be pretty interesting as well. Shudder, the horror network, is getting involved early with Halloween for their 61 days of Halloween, basically meaning there's 38 in September, 31 in October, so that's 61. So starting September 1st, you're going to just focus all on scaring people on Halloween upcoming. I mean, if you can do Christmas ones, you may as well do, for a long time, you may as well do Halloween ones as well. Sam Raimi has directed a bunch of films. One of the films he directed in the 90s was Darkman with Liam Neeson. Apparently, we found out this week that he recut Darkman behind Universal's back right before release. Apparently, he did not have final cut. Universal made a few changes that Sam did not like, and then said, that's it, we're done, cut print, we're going to ship this sucker. And he was able to finagle it so that he could put the stuff back in that he wanted and re-edit it without them even knowing until it was released into theaters, and then there's nothing you could do about it. So good on that. The Untitled Goose Game, which once I get my Nintendo Switch charged up and getting ready for this week, I will be dropping my Untitled Goose Game in there. I'll be playing that like crazy. Well, they're going to be having an update in September, which is now going to bring you 2 geese that's going to go around attacking people, and you'll be able to play with 2 players, I believe. So that's a good sign. So if you like the Untitled Goose Game and you finished it already, try it again with a buddy and see how much fun it's going to be. Plus, there'll probably be some new updates and stuff like that as well. I've been looking in Amazon in anticipation that I'll be getting my light set up. There's a bunch of simulation games that I'm interested in. There's a goat simulator, which I think is really cool. I have a bee simulator that I bought a while ago. Haven't played it yet. There's like a Sim City sort of simulator that I want to get going, so I'm going to do that, get that as well. There's a graveyard one, which is interesting, and then there's some farm ones, so we'll see how that goes. Even though I bought it for my wife, I'll probably upload Animal Crossing too. So we'll see. Airheads is a popular candy. They now have snow cones called snow coners. You can get them, as I said, summer's still around, so you can try to get that going as well. A 2-million-year-old doll was found in Tampa, Idaho, in a cave in Tampa, Idaho. 2-million-year-old doll was found in Tampa, Idaho, in a cave in Tampa, Idaho. 2-million-year-old doll. That is absolutely crazy. And there's another story similar to that as well. It's on this page. Where is it? Oh, geez, I wish I could find it. I'll tell you what it is, and then if I find it, I'll check it off. The world's oldest bed was discovered in a cave also. It's 200,000 years old. Was discovered in a cave. So, no, that's absolutely crazy. I talked about Starbucks already. There's also, oh no, I'm sorry, that's something else. I'll say it right now. Captain Crunch has a new flavor out called Strawberry Sheet Cake Crunch, or Cheesecake Crunch, I think. So you got that going on. The Reese's Classic Donut to be a permanent at Krispy Kreme's. Good on that. Nestle Toll House reveals edible cookie dough that melts in your mouth. A lot of other people have been releasing edible cookie dough. They're just the next one. Nutter Butter and Nilla Wafers pudding is now a thing where you can get those cookies crumbled on top as well. I can't find the 200,000-year-old bed. But as I said, there was a 200,000-year-old bed discovered in a cave as well. So that's kind of interesting. But that goes along with the 2-million-year-old doll found in Tampa, Idaho. This is kind of good news. Wolverines, the animal, has returned to Mount Rainier State Park after more than 100 years. There's videotape of Wolverines running around. Pretty cool. I would love to go back to Mount Rainier and see an actual Wolverine up close and personal. I think that's really cool. Germany is getting you into exercise. They are ordering pet owners to take their pets out on hour-long walks twice a day to get you exercise and to walk your pets as well. On the flip side, North Korea, which is an absolute shithole country run by a shithole dictator, has declared that all pet dogs need to be handed over to be slaughtered for meat, since I guess they're missing food over there in North Korea. So that's just kind of disgusting. So going from Germany, they want you to walk your dog or your cat or animal, whatever, twice a day for an hour, to North Korea says, we need to eat your dog because we have no meat. Yeah, that's bizarre. Death Valley hits 130 degrees this week. It is the hottest ever temperature on the Earth in recorded history. So, yay. And then the next day was 127 degrees. So it's still kind of yucky out there. Here's on the Starbucks thing. Starbucks Strawberry Matcha is a new thing out there for everybody to live and breed on. Doritos has released a new flavor called Tangy Pickle. I'm not a pickle fan, so ugh. Wolverines are back at Mount Rainier State Park. Well, a palm-sized elephant relative just was rediscovered for the first time in 50 years, like a little rodent that has like an elephant trunk thing. So they're back. That's pretty cool. Giant teddy bear was hit by a foul ball in Oakland. With baseball not having any fans, some stadiums have been putting cardboard cutouts up, stuffed animals, stuff like that. In this case, there was a stuffed bear sitting in the stands at Oakland. A player hit the ball, and it smacked the bear right in the head, and it flew back out of his chair. So everyone was laughing about that. They thought it was funny. Pillsbury brownie dough is safe to eat raw. But that is now available as well. Cal Ripken Jr., former Oriole player, one of the most famous Oriole players of all time, revealed he had prostate cancer, and he's been getting it taken care of all year. He is finally now cancer-free right now, so good job on that, Cal. And also keeping it. On the flip side, the Washington football team's coach, Ron Rivera, who has been doing wonders with that team, has announced that he also has cancer now, but he will be taking chemo, and he'll be fighting it, and he will still be coaching this year for the Washington football team. Woman finds a two-legged spider, helps the spider grow back her 2 legs to grow back to 4 legs. My wife and daughter were like, why would she do that? Because she wanted to take care of another animal. And it's a good thing. You want to help an animal who was injured and hurt. Even though you don't like spiders, there's not reason to help out when you can. Sacha Baron Cohen has been seen in Los Angeles in his Borat costume and character, thinking that there might be a new movie or TV show coming out with Borat again. So we'll see about that. He had a fairly successful movie years ago and sort of disappeared and hasn't come back for a while. And now it looks like he might be coming back now. Michigan is agreeing to pay out $600 million to the Flint, Michigan residents because of their water issue. It's not going to make up the fact that they can't drink clean water. They have to transport water in. They don't have clean water piping into their house yet, and that needs to be taken care of. If the new president gets elected and gets put into office, he needs to work on that right away and get that taken care of. He just does. So you have that. Women steal a $300 stroller from a baby store and leave the baby behind. Cell phone, baby, cell phone. Thieves carry out a heist at the Japanese Ninja Museum. That's just funny because, hey, ninja museums, thieves, and thieves actually steal stuff from a thieves museum. So, okay. Kit Kat is all over the place here. We got a bunch of Kit Kat stories. First up, Kit Kat pumpkin pie flavor is back, baby. Kit Kat also has a Ruby McFlurry shake with pink chocolate coming to McDonald's. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Kit Kat is a thing now also. Kit Kat Duos, which is mocha and chocolate and also has coffee bits in it, is now a thing out there as well. I think so. That's 4 Kit Kat stories. I don't think I have any other ones, but 4 Kit Kat stories. Who would think that we would do Kit Kat stories? Halloween gnomes are a thing, and they look just like candy corn. They're orange and yellow, and they look adorable, and I want to get one, so that'll be kind of cool. Also, I think it's Michael's or something is going to have, from Little Shop of Horrors, the giant eating plant. I forget, it's a woman's name. But they have ones you can stake into your yard and make it look like that, it's coming after you. So that's kind of a neat. It's going to drive me crazy. It's like Irene or something like that. Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors. Audrey 2, that's right. So Audrey 2 is the name of the giant man-eating plant. They've created a Halloween statue version of it, so you can put it up in your yard and have a giant. Arlene, I don't know. I just had it. Audrey 2, and a huge Audrey as well. So you can have that as well. There's also a 12-foot tall skeleton. Home Depot is going to be selling that as well. So you can get a 12-foot skeleton in your yard for Halloween if you want. People are carving pineapples for Halloween instead of pumpkins. I think I talked about that before earlier, but I figured I'd redo it again. There's also talk that a Halloween TV show could be in the works. Halloween being the Mike Myers story, possibly could be returned very soon. Sonic has a toasted s'mores shake topped with fluffy marshmallow that you can get right now if you like. All right. Anything else on this page? I'm skipping all over the place here. KFC has created a taco with a fried chicken shell. Why not? Makes sense. Site of Julius Caesar's murder is now a cat sanctuary for disabled cats. That's kind of interesting, unique. Japanese asteroid sample return capsule is cleared for a landing in Australia. So Japan they launched a satellite to an asteroid. They dropped a probe down to take samples from the asteroid, and they launched that back to Earth while the other probe is still there, and it's going to land in Australia. So that'll be kind of really interesting to see that as well. But I guess eventually, yeah, I'll get to it eventually. Kitty just hunts down big leaves, then finds them and gives them to her owner every day. Good for that. NASA to check the giant gold asteroid that's in the asteroid belt, just to check it out and see if it's as everybody thinks it is, and if it's in the world. A billionaire. Lightning hits Star Wars themed ride at Disney World, and the article talking about it called it a Star Trek ride, so people are yelling about that. Tokyo's transparent public restrooms. It's not what you think it is. They have stalls, but they're transparent and they're like outside. And so when you're walking past, if you need to go to the bathroom, you can see, because you can see their legs hanging underneath the stalls. That way, you don't know. Sometimes in these places, people are waiting to mug you or rape you or attack you or whatever. Now you can actually see if there's somebody in there. And if there is, you just move on to the next place. But that's kind of an interesting little thing there. The TV show Cheers was hugely popular in the 80s, and they used the interior in the show of an actual bar in Boston, which became a tourist thing. I went there in the 1980s. It's not as big as the Cheers in the TV show. It does have a stairway down, but then when you enter it, the bar is like right there, and there's a few little chairs. It's like a dinky little bar. The final episode of Cheers, the cast went there live and did a live broadcast after the last episode. They all got drunk and wasted, and it was embarrassing. But it was a tourist attraction for the longest time. Well, they are closing permanently, so the Cheers bar is done and over with. Speaking of summer stuff, man dies after getting stuck in a water park supply pipe. Somehow he got stuck into one of these pipes, and nobody could hear his screams, and he ended up dying, I guess drowning or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. This is terrible. Masked suspects sought in a Denver house fire that killed 5 people, including 2 children. These masks are disturbing masks, and they were photographed. There's about 4 of them, so it looks like they're white racist motherfuckers. Transparent. Totally did that. I talked about already. The Lost Colony was solved by a writer who discovered archaeological stuff on Roanoke Island, which was known at the time as Croatoan. And the Croatoan Indians there too. And basically all the signs are there, but people just were not looking at the most obvious place. This person has discovered all this stuff, and he is making his case for it, and it's making a lot of sense. So the Lost Colony has been solved. They all disappeared and went to Roanoke Island, but the people who went back there just never thought to look there. They did, they would have found them. Scream 5 is in the works right now. They've cast their first 2 actresses, 2 young actresses named Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. I guess from current shows that are out there now. They have been cast in Scream 5. So we'll see how that's all going to work out with Wes Craven passing away and if Neve Campbell, but no one's 100% certain. Clark Gregg, who played Coulson in the Marvel MCU and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, which just went off the air last week, had been married to actress Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing for the longest time. Well, they have signed up for divorce. They are now divorcing each other, and it's sad, but it happens. World's fastest electric ice cream van has been created to combat carbon emissions. So we have a fast electric ice cream machine now. Hot Pockets now has dessert versions, apple cinnamon and cinnamon roll. The apple cinnamon one is basically a apple pie for the most part. For the first time in forever, or actually ever, I should say, California, which is in the midst of a huge wildfire again, the Weather Bureau has, for the first time, put out a warning for a fire-nado, a tornado that rips through where the forest fire is, creating a tornado filled with fire. It's an actual thing now. Fire-nados are no longer a vision of sci-fi. It's an actual thing out there now. Weather Service has done the first ever announcement for it. After a bizarre accident at a chocolate factory in Switzerland, the small town where factory in Switzerland, the small town where the chocolate factory is, woke up to seeing chocolate snow. Not chocolate rain, not that, chocolate snow. Cocoa snow, I should say. Basically, it was some sort of explosion, something like that, that ejected all of this cocoa into the air that came back down and rained down on the town as cocoa. It's not harmful, it's cocoa. But it must have been really weird to see brown snow, and then if you happen to catch it on your lips, you're like, oh, you're telling, ooh, that's chocolate. So it was a Lindor factory, actually. Marvel Comics is going to release a special comic book written and drawn by indigenous people, indigenous characters that Marvel has has shown over the years. I forget there's one with the New Mutants, one with the X-Men. There's been a few other ones as well, Wyatt Wingfoot, stuff like that. So you're actually going to get a special edition comic with Indigenous writers. So you're actually going to get a special edition comic with Indigenous writers, artists doing stories about Indigenous characters. And there might be new ones involved as well, so that's kind of a neat idea that Marvel's getting into that. There's so much news and works at some time, not Game of Thrones, is the time. What is it? Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time adaptation is still in the works at Amazon. They've cast a bunch more new characters, so that one will be coming soon. My wife absolutely loves the Wheel of Time, and so she is excited for that, and Amazon is going to release that soon enough. Leverage 2 has been filming episodes for the IMDb for their new sequel. It's fantastic. One of the main actors from the show, Aldous Hodge, who was one of the main characters from the previous Leverage season, is now only going to be there in a part-time capacity because he's got work on another show, but he could not miss rejoining with his Leverage teammates. So he will pop up in a number of episodes, but he will not be in all of them. So to cover for him not being there, they have cast actress Elise Shannon to be Hardison's hacker sister. Basically someone that Hardison was able to teach his skills to and can help out the Leverage available. But at least they have another hacker that they can rely on, and that's really cool. Pillsbury Hot Cocoa Cookie Dough is filled with marshmallow chips. I think I talked about that last week. I'm going to bring it up again this week. That'll be coming soon, as I said. Fall is right around the corner. That means hot chocolate. That means crisp air, wonderful stuff. August 29th is going to be at my local Yankee Candle store, the release of the new fall lineup. It's actually out online already, but I'd rather wait till it gets to my store so I can buy them all and have them all on my hand. A cat steals shoes at night. I think I talked about this as well, and has been caught on various doorbell cameras and other cameras as well. Well, the owner of the cat has now set up a Facebook page to try to spread the word about, hey, I have all these shoes. If you're missing shoes that my cat stole from you, tell me which ones they are. And she's posting pictures of them up there and saying, if these are your shoes, let me know and I'll get them delivered to you and return them to you, because my cat is a thief. And it would fit well with the Leverage crew. That would be really cool if they had a cat on the show. I think Hardison likes cats anyway. Dairy Queen's pumpkin shake is made with cinnamon spice cake batter. I think that's a really neat idea. Nesquik, which did, Nestle Quick, the famous chocolate powder drink that made your chocolate milk. You put the powder in, you mix it up. I drank Nestle Quick all the time. It was in a little container. You pop the little metal lid off and scoop the stuff in there. Well, it's still around. And they have the first new flavor in centuries, well, not centuries, in decades. They're having the hot fudge flavored Nesquik, which is kind of good. So it's a version of hot chocolate, or rather of chocolate milk, but it's a hot fudge flavor. So that'd be kind of cool. Nestle's fall favorite cookie doughs are back, and I talked about that also. I saw them in theater, in the grocery store. I'm contemplating getting the caramel apple cookie ones to see what they taste like. The actress who plays Eleven in Stranger Things, she made a movie for Netflix called Enola Holmes, where she plays Sherlock Holmes' youngest sister. Well, the first trailer for that has come out, and that'll be coming out really soon. The Funfetti cereal, I talked about the birthday cake waffles. Well, now we have Funfetti cereal to go with that. Video shows supporters for that asshole in the White House. They have a new group out called the Voters for That Asshole. They've been all over the place, and he's been praising them, blah, 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 and blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, they were videotaped sinking a ship by a family was just in a ship of the place, and he's been praising them and blah, 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 and blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, they were videotaped sinking a ship, but if anyone died, those assholes should be in prison because of that. Fucking assholes. I hate them. Arrests have been made in the 2002 death of Run DMC's Jam Master Time. Heartbeat has been detected in a cosmic gas cloud. Don't know what that is or what that could be. Again, people are joking, it's Galactus. But hey, Galactus is probably coming to... What? Kind of weird. Sean Connery was crowned the best James Bond of all time in a online vote and stuff like that. I've never been a James Bond fan, but hey, Sean Connery, why not? A couple of new bad movies that we're never going to see, but are always good to talk about. Abyssal Spiders, about giant spiders in the abyss, and Claw, about a velociraptor that haunts a ghost town. So, whatever. This is kind of a bad idea. I don't know why they have to keep doing stuff like this, but Kylo Ren might be getting his own spinoff at Disney Plus, and I'm like, nah, don't need it, don't want to watch it, so forget it. There it is, world's oldest bed, 200,000. It was found in an African cave. Everybody loves TV show Friends. When I can get an advent calendar for this year's Advent for Friends, is filled with trinkets from the show. So I don't know what that exactly means, but if you're a fan of Friends and you want to have an advent calendar, well, guess what? It's your lucky year. A man was arrested in the attempted kidnapping of a female WWE wrestler, Sonia Desiree or something like that. I can't tell what name. My handwriting is terrible. Good thing that they caught the person. That's always kind of scary. French toast flavored Girl Scout cookies is the first new flavors in Girl Scout cookies since the s'mores came out a couple years ago. So now we Wilf and Kevin Hart are going to be doing a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's not a good idea. That's a bad idea. Oregon Creek, which is a local company, is going to be remake Snyder trailer for Justice League, but there was a fan trailer created for a Justice League of the include Michael Keaton, Christopher Reeve, Linda Carter, and at the end, special appearance by Helen Slater as Supergirl. And it was brilliant. It was done very well. I think they did an excellent job of it. Again, it's always fascinating to see these sort of fan trailers get made and just make you want to go. And trailers get made and just make you want to go, I wish they really would have made one. It would have been great. Halloween Comic Fest, which is supposed to be free comic book day, and you pick them up now. That goes through September. But Halloween Comic Fest was supposed to be their version of free Halloween Comic Fest. Instead, it's all going to be free action figures and statues and bullshit, which is nice. Holed up in a cabin for a few months during COVID to the finishing touch on Winds of Winter, which has been sitting and been anticipated for 10 years now. Seems like that. Flying squirrel, to be extinct for 70 years, has been rediscovered. So that's always good when an animal species has been rediscovered. Magic Fruity Pebbles cereal will turn your a mama goose finally, because why not? This is 2020 and there are morons everywhere. How about the mask shooting gun? A gun that shoots masks onto people. Yeah, that's a bad idea. The hell? A mask shooting gun. Really, people, 29th or 30th of August, depending on what I decide, will mean that once that episode is done, you can watch Dylan Knows every day